Da, 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 da. Copyright.
That was it.
Mm.
And with that, copyright infringement. We are now officially live here, broadcasting from Running Out the Clock Studios, right outside of prestigious Kroger Field. That's where we've set up for remote broadcast.
No, we are at midfield.
We're at midfield of prestigious Kroger Field.
It's
No
a
one noticed.
lovely, lovely place.
It's just beautiful.
We're
I'm your
probably
friend.
going to get arrested.
It's fine. We're going to get more arrested for infringing on Disney, ABC, ESPN copyright or whatever. So, whatever. The mouse owns all. I'm your friend Joseph Craven. I'm joined by Keith Harkins, Grabe Arns. I don't know if anyone knows this, but most people assume that his name is Gray Barnes, but it's not. His name is actually Grabe Arns.
Special guest Purdue in the house.
Right on time.
For real though, the name Grabe Arns sounds like a guy who may have been in the Four Horsemen for like a week, and then like he was the guy who showed up in like the black trunks that they were going to turn on him, but Grabe Arms, the Four Horsemen.
Grabe Arns.
I really wish that's kind of where my life led me. I'm kind of disappointed in myself now.
There's still time.
It's not too late.
Yes, your
Resurrect
real
the
life
Four
name
Horsemen.
is Gray Barnes. Your
Yep.
stage name is Grabe Arns.
Grabe Arns.
No, Keith, I think you have that backwards.
Yeah, you did.
Sorry.
This is our old friend Grabe Arns. He wrestles under the name Gray Barnes. You might have heard of him. Anyway, that of course was the final member of the crew here, wrestling connoisseur Crambles Johnson. All of us are here. Ro Hunter, of course, has the week off due to not showing up to this podcast anymore, aka personal reasons. And we are here the week of Thanksgiving to talk a little bit about all the beautiful things that we have in our sporting lives to be thankful for. As always, we have to start this podcast off.
Gray, I don't mean to alarm you, but there's a hyena behind you.
No, the hyena's in the crate with the
Oh.
blanket on top of it.
Oh,
Nice. We need to start this podcast off the same way we always do, by talking about how thankful we are for the Knowles. That's right. We're doing a little bit of a variation on our talking about the Knowles opening bit that we always do. We're going to talk about how thankful we are for the Knowles. So I'm going to start this off with you, Keith, noted Florida State aficionado that you are. How thankful are you for the Knowles?
extremely thankful for the now bowl eligible Knowles. Just really a shining light in my life, beacon of hope and happiness.
Do you think that they are bowl eligible only because they got rid of Willie Taggart and no other reasons?
Obviously, that's the only reason that I can think of that they are
Right.
bowl eligible.
Samesies. Crambles, how thankful are you for the Knowles?
I'm so thankful that the Knowles sailed across the ocean on the Mayflower and discovered America, and then ate
That's-
turkey with those Indians that one time.
That was it. That was exactly it. Just knowing the name of their team, the Seminoles, and then the story you just told makes things a little bit more confusing, but that's fine. Grabe, how about you?
I mean, I'm pretty thankful, I guess.
Thank you, Grabe. So, with that being said, we there's a couple of little corrections we need to make from last week on the pod. One of them being that we neglected to do our standard, who's someone that deserves some credit segment that we tend to open things up with.
Nobody did last week.
Yeah, nobody deserved any credit.
Everyone was terrible and awful.
That's really the ultimate lesson here. But along with that, we also incorrectly talked about, as Keith pointed out when we were in our pre-show production meeting, we talked about the wrong random matchup. We accidentally said Northern Illinois and Western Michigan when it was supposed to be Northern Illinois and Eastern Michigan.
I mean, just two totally different directions of the state of Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, you
They
can't
are
get much
opposite
more
directions.
opposite. Can't get much more opposite. So apologies to the vast crowds of Eastern Michigan fans that listen to our SEC podcast, because I'm sure there's a lot out there.
However, I will say that I don't regret it because we got to hear Roe scream nay.
Nay, bro. Turns out the biggest nay, bro, of them all should have been directed at us. All right. So now I'm going to turn it over to you guys. Does anyone have a nominee that they'd like to mention for someone out there in the sporting world that deserves a little bit more credit than maybe what they're getting this weekend? Keith? Got any nominees?
Yeah. I saw a commercial for All Elite Wrestling, and it looks like Chris Jericho is starting up a new faction. So I'm props to him for still doing it at the age of like 68 or whatever he is.
Crambles, is this true?
He's 49. And yes, it is true. He has started a new faction, the Inner Circle. And just to point out what a big deal All Elite has been is that WWE's Survivor Series is on tonight, and I'm doing this instead of watching that.
Wow. That is impressive.
AEW rules really, really hard.
Let's hope they have a little bit more luck than the AAF. Chandler, do you have anyone in the world of sports that you want to give some a shout out to right now?
Yeah, so this guy is getting a pretty decent amount of credit, but I just found out about him last week, and really he's getting credit for his play on the field, but I think he deserves more credit because of his name. And his name is Chuba Hubbard at Oklahoma State. And that's just my favorite name. And so, like, Chuba for Heisman.
Yep.
I don't care that it's actually pronounced Chuba.
I was gonna say
doesn't matter.
Like, I know that it's pronounced Chuba, but now that you've actually said it as Chuba, I'd never considered how much better that sounds and like feels coming out of the mouth.
Yep.
Yeah, shame on his parents.
It's almost as good as Grabe.
Almost.
Almost. Yep.
I would vote Grabe Arns as president and Chuba Hubbard as Chub. Can his middle name or can his nickname be Bubba? Can his name be Chuba Bubba Hubbard?
I love it.
I mean,
I think
just take off.
That's what I'm calling him from here on out.
Just take off the RD on his last name. Chubba Bubba Hubba.
The Chuba Bubba Hubba.
The second.
Yes, the second. He's just the greatest. He's the greatest there is.
But see, what we just did was we took an incredible, like, all-time college football name that didn't need changing and made it way better.
Yep.
So that's what we do on this show.
Yeah, that's entirely what we do.
That is running out the clock. That's the essence of it.
That's why this show will go down in history as the worst.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
We were the worst Rudolph.
His story, where it just means more.
It's her story, Keith.
That's right. God is female.
Hey, Chandler, just real curious. Are you using earbud microphone tonight?
I shouldn't be, but
double check that. I think you might be because I was hearing a good amount of beard scratching a second ago.
Ooh, the beard scratch is back. Back again.
Is that different?
I can't tell. Rub it in your beard. Yeah, it's gone.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It was set fault and not Blue Snowball. So
okay.
Just
my apologies.
No worries.
Just keep rubbing your beard for everybody who's watching on YouTube.
the entire program. All right, where were we? Gray, I think you're up now. You got anyone that you want to nominate as someone in the sporting world that deserves a little bit of credit?
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned the AAF earlier because I want to give credit for all the guys who were in the XFL draft. They're actually going to take the shot and give the XFL a little bit of a run. Props to you guys for wanting to keep doing what you do, and hope the XFL has a little bit better luck, or the reemergence of the XFL.
Yep.
I still have the. I want to show the camera. I still have the AAF app on my phone.
I do too. I still got it.
I will never get rid of it. I can't find it. It's on there somewhere. What a revolutionary app it was for a few weeks.
Really was so great. I want to give a little bit of credit to former LSU wide receiver, current Cleveland Brown, Jarvis Landry. Because if anyone is an NFL fan, and has been keeping up with anything, you kind of know that the Browns themselves have not been great this year. And you know that Jarvis Landry has as well not really had much of a season to write home about. But today, Jarvis played his former team, the Miami Dolphins, and had held on to the grudge of being moved from the Dolphins so thoroughly that he threw down, 148 receiving yards on 10 catches and 2 touchdowns. Easily his best performance this season, and notably because the Browns and Dolphins don't play each other very often. So he pretty much, when he got sent to the Browns, was circling this date on the calendar, in a fictional calendar, years in advance, just waiting for his opportunity to show out against his old team. So that it goes down, I think, one of the more underrated FU old team moments that we've had in sports.
Yeah,
so
that's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
That is exactly how you do it.
Yep. So that's what I got. And on that note, let's move into the meat of this episode here, this ROTC Thanksgiving Rivalry Week episode that we've got going on. That's right. It is, of course, Rivalry Week. With that, we've got, all the big-time rivalry matchups. You've got the Egg Bowl between Mississippi State and Ole Miss coming up on Thanksgiving Day. You've got the Iron Bowl, Alabama and Auburn. You've got Georgia Tech, Clemson and South Carolina, Louisville and Kentucky, Vanderbilt and UT, Florida State and Florida, and of course the most heated rivalry of all, Texas A&M and LSU. I feel like I built up to the right peak in that list.
Only one of those games involved a man with a pacemaker getting punched last year. So
that's very
I
true.
Forgot about that.
That's very true.
Oh my word!
You know who deserves more credit?
That we
Everyone
know
involved with that. Man,
it's possible that everybody on the Ole Miss and State teams last year had pacemakers. We don't know.
Possible.
it's true. Matt Corral and Jonathan Abram both have pacemakers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So they, so it's a big time week, but of course, as always, this is coming down on. It's funny that rivalry week, like last week of the regular season, happens to be always the week of Thanksgiving.
It's almost like they planned it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
let's give thanks for the people we hate.
That's a sweet little tune. But of course, Thanksgiving, it's it's supposed to be thankful. It's supposed to be very, all about togetherness, love, loving each other or whatever. Also, one of the most criminally overlooked holidays, I believe. I love Thanksgiving. And
hey, can we pause for 2 minutes?
Yep. No one say a word.
I'm going to go into a 2-minute long spiel of what I'm thankful for. And then not want to do it again once we're actually doing this.
That's fair.
Just to be a turd. Nope. Chandler's dog Bo just made a quick guest appearance.
Get him on the pod.
I think he realized he was on camera and was like, "Oh,
this isn't where I need to be, guys." Which one is that, Gray?
That's Misha.
That's Misha. Okay.
Yeah. Sasha was being very, very bad, and so she needed to take a nap. So she's in the crate.
Have you ever explained where the dog names come from? I don't know if you have.
We spent about an afternoon's worth of time trying to come up with something for Misha. I don't really know how we landed on it. We just kind of, I don't know. So we came up with Misha kind of out of the blue, but Sasha was Sasha from like at the Humane Society that we picked her up from. So we're like, oh, that fits perfect. Misha and Sasha. Why not?
Interesting.
For my dog Baron, Joseph created a Facebook poll.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
Well, what's Baron's full name?
I can't remember.
Such a long Silmarillion name, you know?
Yeah, Baron, of course, is a character from the Silmarillion. One of the other popular options was Dr. J.
Oh, well, of course.
Mm-hmm. And there was wasn't there a deceased U.S. president? That
Richard Nixon.
Really? It was Nixon?
Yeah, because I think he joked about calling him Dick.
Yeah, because I remember that now because I wanted to.
That actually would have been the most appropriate name of all time. Like Baron does not fit him. Like he looks noble, but he's just the biggest turd on earth.
Just a turd, yeah.
So like Richard Nixon would have been perfect. Old Tricky Dick over here. As I was explaining his name, he freaked out from a dead sleep and then carefully walked out of the room. So I have no idea what just happened.
I'm out of here.
He acted like something like brushed up against him.
I love it.
I had to go put sheets on Justin's bed.
Oh, okay.
Did you pee on them again?
Yes, I did.
Did you wet your son's bed?
I did wet his bed.
I cannot stress to you enough how much you're not supposed to do that. All right.
Yeah, he was not behaving, and so I was like, "Hey, you know what happens? You don't behave."
I pee in your bed, bud.
That's exactly what happened. Anyway, sorry about that. Continue.
So it's always interesting having everything pile up kind of all at once. Last year, when we got to this time in the season, we embraced the hatred of rivalry week. And we did a few segments about, trying to give our rivals, talking about someone from associated with our rival schools that we like, and then someone associated with our rival schools that like we hate, something like that. This year, though, we're gonna go a little bit different route, and we're gonna focus on the act of giving thanks in light of the season, the sports world that we're currently living in general. Maybe just stuff that we think we should be thankful for as sports fans, as SEC podcasters here this year. So this is the episode of Thanksgiving on ROTC, and I'm just gonna open things up by saying, guys, I mean, Gray already mentioned it a little bit, so I want to talk about how thankful I am for the XFL coming up, because it will give us something to potentially podcast about in light of our attempts at podcasting about the AAF before it collapsed. So thank you, Vince McMahon, for bringing back.
I have to say that we were the most successful AAF podcast on the internet.
By far. What did we have? An episode? It was great.
I can't think of a better AAF podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Just name one off the top of your head.
There isn't one. Yeah.
Name one off the top of your head. You can't. You just can't. So anyway, I'm thankful for that. I'm also thankful because it gives a whole bunch of recent college graduates / practice squad veterans a chance to play football once again. So I'm thankful for that. Hey, Keith, I'm going to turn it over to you. What are you thankful for? Or what do you think sports fans should be thankful for? I don't know where you want to take this bit. I'm just going to turn it over to you, man.
Yeah, like I'm not going to do a thing about Florida State because that's what's expected, because they're quote unquote Florida's biggest rival and all that jazz. But I am thankful for LSU.
Okay.
That may seem confusing to the members of this podcast and to the general public, seeing as LSU is a rival. However, let me explain.
Okay.
And this is not the 2019 iteration of LSU. This would be the 2018
Oh,
Louisiana State University Fighting Football Tigers.
that's them. That's their full Christian name.
I'm intrigued.
First of all, it
Name
was
they were
super
given at their baptism.
Right.
Yes, that's their birth Christian name. It was, first of all, it was super fun to watch Ed Orgeron defy all the odds in being a good coach in the eyes of the public. And, everybody thought they were going to collapse, including basically everybody on this podcast, and they didn't. That was fun. Secondly, we all got to see Ed Orgeron squirt a water bottle in his face in the middle of a torrential downpour. I can't remember what game it was. It doesn't matter because it was literally pouring down rain, and Ed Orgeron, apparently thirsty, took a water bottle and squirted it into his mouth like a rabid dog.
Oh man.
It's like I have the picture in my phone because I saved it to send to our group chat. And every once in a while, while scrolling through to find a picture, I'll see it and I'll laugh. So I'm thankful for Ed Orgeron.
The fumes in Death Valley just do something to LSU head coaches.
It
They
just
literally
causes
go
some-
mad.
Some
Yep.
strange behavior.
I mean, clearly it broke Les Miles.
Mhm.
And lastly, I'm thankful for LSU for giving us the maelstrom of stupidity that was the LSU Texas A&M game last year.
Mm. Mm.
It was LSU made a bit of a comeback at the end, and it looked like they had it wrapped up. So I decided to watch Tomb Raider, the new one with Alicia Vikander.
I don't think it matters.
No, it doesn't.
Whatever iteration of Tomb Raider you decide to watch is not a good one.
Yeah, and it fits perfectly because there was the controversial call of whether, I guess it was Kellen Mond that had his knee on the ground, like as he threw it or whatever, or as the guy caught it. I can't remember, but Texas A&M ended up tying it, and of course we went to 7 overtimes. Again, a football game in which needless water was involved with Coach Orgeron because he got the Gatorade bath.
Yep. Man, I love a premature Gatorade bath. I love a premature Gatorade bath.
And not only did the opposing team tie it, but they went on to win in 7 overtimes. And then, of course, as Chandler mentioned, we got the glorious weirdness at the end where what we knew was a Texas A&M grad assistant punched an LSU coach who we found out had a pacemaker, but then we find out also that grad assistant was Jimbo's nephew.
Yep.
Who immediately got murdered by one of the Falks. I can't remember who it was.
It was a great moment.
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah, it was
so
just a wonderful moment in sports history. And so that
It's proof that in the SEC, it really does just mean more.
it does mean more.
It means the dangerously high amount is what it means.
Can you name another conference where if an opposing team's grad assistant punched a coach on your team that had a pacemaker, that a legendary running back would come to his aid?
No,
I
it just doesn't
I
happen.
can't come up with any other conference where a grad assistant would punch an opposing coach.
Yeah,
That's
The-
exactly right. Because
there's a lot of qualifiers in
The
there. and
second
just
half
none
of that
them-
scenario
none of them
is
work.
completely irrelevant.
that's exactly
man.
right. Because in the SEC, it just
It just
means more.
more.
And that is
Uh,
why I'm thankful for 2018 LSU football.
Yeah, it's just so good. I mean, there's so much to unpack with the LSU of last season. A lot of stuff you just mentioned with Ed Orgeron. He had like the pregame routine of punching himself in the jaw to try to psych up the team. And apparently, I think it was last year. It might have been a couple years ago. He punched one of his own teeth out by accident.
Like, you could tell me any story about Ed Orgeron and I would believe it.
Yeah,
So there are stories.
yeah.
There are stories.
Yeah, exactly. With Les Miles, it seemed like it was a gradual descent into insanity. And with Ed, it's just like, nah, I was born here. It's like Ed Orgeron is Bane, basically. Like Ed Orgeron goes up to Les Miles and he's like, you merely adopted insanity, but I was born in it. That's kind of the comparison there in terms of what's going on with this coach.
Like Ed Orgeron drove a 30-year-old armored troop carrier through the door to start his job, and everyone's like, where did you even get this? And he's like, I've had this for 30 years waiting for this moment.
Yeah, he's like, this was it.
This was it. Yeah, he just had it in his carport.
Yeah,
I saw it in his carport in Oxford.
His carport.
He was constantly out on the week, on Sunday afternoons, washing it, waxing the tires, all of
practicing driving through buildings.
Mm-hmm. And let's not forget the time that Anne Hathaway shot Ed Orgeron with guns mounted on a motorcycle. I mean, the comparison to Bane is it's all over the place.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
That guy sounds like a dryer full of gravel.
I mean,
Coach what's going on there?
We've never seen Coach O in a dryer full of gravel in the same room before.
Just gonna throw that out there.
I'm not saying that he isn't or that he is. I'm just saying we've never seen him together.
We've never seen it happen. We've never seen it. Oh my gosh. It's just like I'm glad that, I guess I'm glad that like LSU fans get to enjoy this season. But last season really was the LSU that like the casual observer could watch and enjoy because you just never knew. Mm-hmm. They could be a really good team, and then they could be just stuff like that. It was amazing. So entertaining. So entertaining. And of course that 7 overtime loss put it so that A&M finished third in the West or fourth in the West? A&M was second. That's right. A&M was second, and LSU finished third.
Or fourth.
Fourth.
Yeah, because Auburn somehow snuck in there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It was so random.
That was the weirdest game because it caused the weirdest ending for the West. It was so bizarre.
Like if LSU had won it, Mississippi State would have ended like fourth in the West, if I remember correctly, and it probably would have eased some of the fans' tensions towards Moorhead, maybe, but maybe not. Fans are going to fan. All right, Chandler, how about you, man? What do you talk about what you're thankful for?
I'm thankful for two things.
Okay.
One is kind of continuing with the theme. I'm thankful for 2019 LSU.
Okay, all right.
Because they did two things in the last 2 weeks that haven't really been heavily reported on, but have fed my soul in very important ways.
Okay.
In the last 2 weeks, LSU has played 2 games against very manufactured rivals as of late. That would be Ole Miss and Arkansas. Both of these games have trophies that they play for. Mm-hmm. They have the Magnolia Bowl trophy, which looks like
we're all familiar with it. It's a very well-known trophy for the rivalry.
It's a well-known trophy. Everybody knows that it looks like a trophy that a student in shop class designed and got an F on. Mm-hmm. We all know that. And then we also know that LSU and Arkansas play for a trophy called the Golden Boot.
Yeah, which actually is one of my personal favorite trophies on account of how dumb it is.
Right. So in both of these manufactured rivalry games in the last 2 weeks, LSU has won both convincingly. And at no point was there ever any concern that either Ole Miss or Arkansas was going to win. And so when LSU won the game, whereas normal games like that, the teams even will pretend like they're excited and they'll go and they'll grab the trophy and they'll hold it up and they'll go crazy and they'll run to it. Everybody goes nuts. LSU both times forgot the trophy existed and just left them on the field.
Just like everyone else.
just left them there. And
because that's not the real prize, Chandler.
Yeah.
Well, right. and
You do it for the love of the game. Oh,
right,
Sorry.
and they ran
That's it.
off the field with the love of the game. That's what they did. But
Raising it high above their heads.
I love that. I love that because I think that regular season game trophies are dumb, and freaking out over those kinds of trophies.
I don't
And
know.
then
I don't know.
when
Like
certain
the bronze milk jug from somewhere up north is really fun.
okay, so that's one. But
I'm going to say there's a lot of them, but I'm going to let you finish first.
I think with the exception of Paul Bunyan's axe, and I don't even know who plays for it, because it's literally an axe. But anyway, I think and that has all kinds of overtones for the Ole Miss Mississippi State rivalry, in my opinion. But whatever. I very much appreciated LSU being like, man, forget those trophies, we're out of here. The other thing that I'm thankful for,
Paul
go ahead.
Bunyan's axe is Minnesota and Wisconsin.
right?
Yep. Along with that, I vehemently disagree. I love regular season trophies. I think that bowl games are really stupid most of the time and meaningless. I love a regular season trophy. And part of it is because I think that there's a lot of great dumb regular season trophies, not the least of which being my favorite, the Notre Dame USC battle for the jeweled shillelagh. I mean, where else are you going to win a jeweled shillelagh outside of like an
That's the
Irish
first
county
time I've
fair, I
ever
guess?
heard of that.
Yeah, I don't know what's a shillelagh.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
Shillelagh is
It could be a dog. It could be an instrument. We don't know.
It's a pipe. It's a
Like
pipe.
a smoking pipe.
That was not the direction that I thought that was going.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, I'll look it up. Oh, nope, nope, never mind. It looks like a pipe. It's a weapon. Okay, I'll stay corrected. Imagine if you took a smoking pipe and you just made it so large that you could beat someone over the head with it. That's a shillelagh.
I want to smoke that weepon.
Okay,
So it's
My
just
bad.
a giant jewel.
let me amend.
It's a bejeweled giant beat stick.
I would like to amend my statement and say that every regular season trophy that is not a violent weapon
Mhm.
is dumb.
Okay.
Like the milk jug.
The
Yeah.
other thing that I'm thankful for, and this one is very near and dear and personal to me as an Ole Miss fan, I am thankful that after Thursday, I don't have to watch any more college football.
Mhm.
That's it.
It's gonna be good.
It's not.
It's gonna be a good. Oh, okay. So you're thankful for the end of something, and when I say that it's gonna be good to be done with it, you said it's not.
Right.
I just want to make that clear.
I'm just confused.
I didn't word it well. Okay, shut up.
Yeah. We'll talk about rivalry games later. Someone else's turn.
Yep. All right.
Great. Tell us which LSU season you're most thankful for.
I'm actually kind of going in a little bit of a different direction. I was having a hard time trying to think of something in the present that I was thankful for in regards to college football. So I had to just think about some memories. And I'm thankful that all of us can look back fondly upon some ridiculous ESPN college football, well, just really ESPN personalities in general. One of the things I look forward to the most on Saturdays, was getting to where, it's kind of like Pac-12 after dark time, and, college game day final is about to come on. And for no apparent reason, you'd have Lou Holtz, Mark May, and Judge Robed wearing Reese Davis just shouting at each other for some reason.
Yep.
And I think almost actually getting into physical confrontations with each other.
Lou and Mark hated each other.
Just
they
a
didn't even try to hide
bizarre
it.
scenario. And you got to look forward to that every week. I also just really miss guys that aren't there anymore. I think somebody that might have inspired a segment on this show, Danny Cannell, who just really loved talking about the Knowles.
Yep. Is Purdue back? Did I just hear Purdue again?
Purdue is in fact
Oh,
back.
man, they're here.
Purdue
They're
is
back.
back, baby.
Man, why is Purdue making 2 cameos tonight?
I don't know, man.
It just
They're
needs
back.
more.
They're
Just,
back.
just sorry, Gray. I just heard that.
No,
I had to
no.
make it go.
No, I understand. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm thankful that we all got to experience Danny Kanell and his ridiculous tenure at ESPN, and then just guys that really were pretty entertaining. John Clayton, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Especially his Sports Center commercial
Yeah.
with the Metallica shirt.
I'm done with my segment.
Oh man, that's an all timer right there.
Does he not work for ESPN anymore?
Very rarely. I don't.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
ESPN did such a thorough job of getting rid of all their real journalists
Yeah,
that I
they
don't know
fired
who's still there
All
or
they're
not.
good people.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Good for them.
And then
You go,
just
ESPN.
the
Yep.
Back
He's
in
a
the
he's a
day-
former reporter.
man, that
Yep.
sucks. John Clayton was one of my favorites. And then also waking up on Sunday morning and catching when the sports reporters was really good on Sunday morning. I have fond memories of watching the sports reporters before heading off to Sunday school at Providence Presbyterian Church. So
Shout out.
yeah, I'm just thankful that for
PPC.
all of the old ESPN personalities that actually were entertaining, even if it was kind of ridiculous for all of us to watch.
Yeah.
Because really now I have no. I never
Watching-
really want to turn on ESPN for anything unless
Yeah.
there's a game I'm
Yeah.
interested in. So
Watching and listening to Chris Berman do that like 2-minute like rundown or whatever,
Yes.
like the NFL games. God, that was so good.
And now they've got Berman like his own like show again on
Mhm.
like ESPN Plus.
Right, that like
Messed up.
nobody buys.
No, it's just messed up. It's just messed up.
Disney
Who
Plus
okay?
bundle, baby.
Who is? Let's go around real quick. You mentioned Gray mentioned Danny Kanell, a guy that gets a lot of hate in the sports world. Who you think? It could be ranging from like a Gary Danielson, who's terrible at color commentary, or someone who is like a talking head on a sports talk show and is bad at it. Who's your least favorite sports person? Keith, you want to start us off on this?
Yeah, that's super easy for me. It's Gary Danielson.
Yeah.
Heads above literally everybody else.
He's so bad.
And like, yeah, there's really no need to like go into detail about why, because we complain about him just about every week.
Yeah, it's constant.
Yeah, he's just like there have been times where I've just muted the game and watched it in silence because it's so much more relaxing than not only just hearing Gary Danielson, but knowing that at some point soon, if he's not currently talking, he's going to be.
Yep.
And that produces anxiety for me.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. Chandler, who you got?
I also think Gary's terrible, but Gary's terrible in the annoying and like harmless kind of way.
Yeah. He's
That,
just
like-
kind of he's like the older like great uncle that you see at family stuff, and you're like, all right, we just kind of deal with what he's talking
Right.
about, and we'll just kind of
Right,
move on with our
exactly.
lives later.
So the person who I cannot stand the most in all of sports media, and I think he's terrible, he brings no value to anything, is just the worst, is Colin Cowherd. Cowherd sucks. He's
Mhm.
never been good. He is like, I'm a contrarian, and I look at him and I'm like, dude, that's too much. You got to stop.
I honestly, one of my favorite moments was when Cowherd had Urban Meyer on the show and asked him why he didn't recruit Joe Burrow to come to Ohio State.
Right. And yeah, and he was surprised to find out. It was like, oh, okay, he was on your team. That's great.
Yeah. I love it. It was
yeah.
amazing.
And then
Like apparently just didn't do any like 0 ounces of research whatsoever.
Right. Cowherd is terrible.
Gray, who's yours?
Man, gosh, that's rough. I mean, just off the top of my head right now, really just Atlanta Sports Radio. Can't stand it. That's why I hate when I run out of my podcast that I listen to. I just kind of drive in silence because I just can't turn on the radio. It's just awful.
Let me interrupt you real quick, Ray. I completely forgot that we could mention local guys. because there is a local guy in Jackson who spurred the name of this podcast, and that is Bo Bounds, because Bo Bounds is terrible.
Yep. His out of bounds with Bo Bounds.
Yep.
So we decided, what's the opposite of going out of bounds? It's taking a knee.
Staying in bounds, which runs out the clock.
Yep. So running out the clock, inspired directly by Bo Bounds. There you go.
That's a very y'all lifestyle move.
Yeah, it is.
We were sitting around, we were eating a steak at Shapley's, we were smoking a cigar, reading up on some recruiting rankings, and thought, wow, I want to go drown myself in a lake.
I think that let's see, this isn't my least favorite guy, but I do want to give an honorable mention actually to someone that has disappointed me greatly, is Jay Billis. Because Jay Billis, the past couple of seasons, anytime he comes on to do like color commentary on a college basketball game, it's obvious he's done zero research on the teams that he's talking about. And all he wants to do is talk about Duke and how much he thinks that players should be paid. And that's it. Like, he talks about his only things all the time. And so kind of in that vein, as someone that can only speak about their favorite things to talk about and can't actually hold a conversation about anything, my least favorite sports personality is Clay Travis. And Clay Travis has tried to move on into some other worlds of like being a media guy, talking politics and stuff like that. But he's annoying because all he does is try to cause trouble. So anyway, that's it. That's it. Keith has a game coming up in a minute here. So I'm going to run through. I had a short list of a few things that I'm thankful for in the sporting world this season. And I want to mention a few of those. One of them being, I'm always thankful for, and Gray and I talk about this on like a weekly basis, I believe, but I'm always thankful for like the bad Monday Night Football CGI that they do. Love the bad Monday Night Football CGI that always comes on. Don't know why they keep doing it, but they do it every week. I love it.
They've got to be in on the joke at this point.
Yes, I mean it's 100% like obvious that like they're modeling it after like the Taiwanese animators? Is that what it's called?
Yes, which is the best YouTube channel.
So good. But it's just like they keep doing it, and they never address why. And then as a side note, I'm a huge fan of the fact that every Monday Night Football, Chris Collinsworth slides into frame. It's my favorite thing. He just kind of goes, and then he's there and he's talking. I love it. So I love that. I love being able to wake up early on a Saturday morning, and turning on the English Premier League so I don't have to watch game day. That's something I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for The Athletic. Actual sports journalism still existing out there in the world. I'm thankful for that, and a couple of I'm gonna give a couple of Mississippi State oriented things I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for the fact that I've been able to watch Kylan Hill play football. He is this year especially. He has been an incredibly entertaining player and a unique player because he's one of those like he's big, but still like super agile and stuff. Like there's just a lot to like about Kylan Hill. In terms of he's just fun to watch. He's different from a lot of the Mississippi State running backs in the past. Along with that, I love the fact that Anthony Dixon still exists as a person. I'm thankful for him. I keep up with him on social media. Best I can tell, all he does is athletic training and then going to the sidelines of Mississippi State football games, and that's it. I don't know if he has a job. I don't know if he needs a job. That's what he does. I love the fact that Mississippi State's best wide receiver this season is a guy named Austin Williams who never plays. Big fan of. I'm very thankful for just his existence and the fact that anytime he's actually in a formation, it's going to be a great reception by Austin Williams, but he never gets on the field.
Just a reception.
Yeah. Just a reception at all, yeah. But like he had an incredible touchdown catch against Abilene Christian yesterday. It's just one of those things. It's like I don't know what he does in practice to not get on the field, but apparently he's very good at making coaches mad, I guess. And finally, real quick, and this one it goes out to our compadre Ro Hunter, who is not on the episode, but in case he listens to this episode
R.I.P.
later on, R.I.P. Ro. In case he or our friend Craig Watson listen to this episode later on, I'm real thankful for Mississippi State junior forward Keyshawn Feazell. Is he a good basketball player? Probably not. But when he's on the court, you just never really know what he's going to do. And I'm always going to be the biggest Keyshawn Feazell fan for that reason. A real gem of a player in a apparently weak Mississippi high school basketball year because he was the number 2 recruit in the state. And he logs about 3 minutes a game.
Wow.
Gotta love chaos, though. Gotta love chaos.
Yep.
That seems good.
This season's really funny because he comes in and like he's significantly more bouncy than he was the past couple of years. I don't know if he's slimmed up and so he's just kind of quicker on his feet, but just like out of nowhere, like he'll just kind of be doing nothing at all. And then it's like he's in for 2 seconds and he's got a foul. And then all of a sudden he's just like out of nowhere. It's, I'm going to like catch a one-handed alley-oop over somebody. And then I'm going to commit a foul the next possession and have to go sit down for a while. So Keyshawn, love you, man. Very thankful for his presence.
Mm.
All right, Keith, you've got a game for us. Why don't you take the reins there, bro?
Sure do. And since we did it before and it seemed like it was a good thing, we're going to keep the same format. So we're going to go back to the triple threat game.
Oh, yeah.
Where I read off 3 names or entities or objects or whatever, and you have to try to guess the most precise thing that those 3 things have in common. So, are you ready, gentlemen?
No.
I guess.
Chandler
Chandler
said
so
no.
we're not
He's
doing it.
going first. We're going clockwise from me, so that means Chandler's first. Thank God it's almost over is second, and Joseph is third. Same as last time. I've only got 6 questions. It'll go 2 rounds.
Okay.
The person that wins gets nothing.
That's the biggest prize. We play for the love of the game.
That's right.
Amateurism forever.
Chandler.
Running out the clock.
Tua Tagovailoa, Kerryon Johnson, Jalen Hurts.
Oh gosh.
One more time for the viewers and listeners. Tua Tagovailoa, Kerryon Johnson, Jalen Hurts.
3 guys who played in Iron Bowl's hurt.
That's very specific, but that's not the answer I was looking for. Anybody else have a guess?
God, there's got to be something. I'm drawing a total blank here. Yeah, I can't think of a single thing. Guys who had multiple rushing touchdowns in the Iron Bowl. I don't know.
No.
Yeah, that didn't sound right as soon as I said it, but oh well.
Yeah, the
the
Kerryon
answer-
Johnson thing is
The answer is they are the last 3 SEC Offensive Player of the Year winners.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah. Some of these are softballs and some of them are not.
that was not
Yeah.
one.
We were all going so much more detailed than it
Yeah.
actually was.
All right. Gray. Amari Cooper. AJ McCarron. Darren McFadden.
Mark Cooper, Darren McFadden, and AJ McCarron.
Mhm. Amari Cooper. AJ McCarron. Darren McFadden.
Hmm.
I feel like that timer's running out.
Yeah.
5 seconds. And it's to
Man.
the field.
Yeah. I got nothing.
Did they all spend time on the Dallas Cowboys? I feel like McCarron didn't.
Maybe, but that's
That's my guess.
a no for me, dog.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's not what you had in mind.
Correct.
I don't
Man.
know.
This question was inspired by Gray because of something he said last time.
Okay.
Oh well, I remember now.
The answer is they are all Heisman runners-up that never won.
Really?
AJ
did not-
McCarron was a runner-up for Heisman.
Yep.
Whoa.
I was shocked also.
Weak year.
Man, that's wild. Not only that, but McCarron is one of only 7 quarterbacks in history to win back-to-back titles. And the first FBS quarterback to win back-to-back consecutive titles since Matt Leinart. Interesting.
Wow.
No, AJ McCarron did not play for Dallas, but he is currently on the Texans roster, so he's in the same state. I'm sure that goes a long way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to think back on like maybe some type of bowl game or something that Darren McFadden might have played in. I was going down the wrong.
Oh my gosh! Why did I say Cowboys? They all played for the Oakland Raiders.
This is true.
They all played for the Raiders. Why did I say Cowboys? I say Cowboys because Cooper's there right now. But they
Right.
were all on the Raiders.
McFadden also did a stint in Dallas, didn't he?
Yeah.
No.
Mhm.
No, I mean,
He
yeah,
did.
McFadden. I'm sorry. I was thinking McCarron. Yes, McFadden
He
did
was
it.
there for a couple of years, I think, something like that.
Yeah, he had his last good year was right before Zeke arrived, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it like reading back through that, I was honestly kind of amazed that like Darren McFadden never won a Heisman. Like I can't actually recall like what his numbers were and who won it those years. But just an insane athlete.
Did he not overlap with like the Tim Tebow and then the Colt McCoy, Sam Bradford
Yes.
years?
Yeah, he was there from I think like 04 to 06 or 07 or
Okay.
something like that. Yeah.
Okay, I was trying to remember that myself, but yeah, no, all of those guys spent time on the Raiders, and I just realized
That's
that.
funny.
That is funny. I guess I never realized that McCarron went to the Raiders.
As
I
a
don't
junior, Darren McFadden rushed for almost 2,000 yards and 17 touchdowns.
Man,
Yeah, pretty good.
he's all right.
And that's while sharing a backfield with Felix Jones.
Yeah,
And
Hey,
Peyton Hillis.
And Peyton Hillis.
And Peyton Hillis.
Never even won an SEC championship.
No, that's because they were led by star quarterback Casey Dick.
Yeah, and occasionally Mitch Mustaine.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Mitch Mustaine. Wow, what a time for Arkansas football that was.
Just like
Right.
three of the best running backs and then 2 idiot quarterbacks.
So does
right.
anyone have points yet? Or I
No.
guess okay, I didn't think so. I didn't
So
think
far,
any
it's
of the
terrible.
answers counts. Yeah, it's been real bad. We're bad at the game this time around. Last time around, it was like
Yeah,
a
last time
shootout.
it was fun and like everybody had got it was good. All
No,
right,
I'm miserable right now. Go ahead.
this one might change. All right, Joseph,
Mm-hmm.
Urban Meyer,
Heard of him?
Nick Saban,
Heard of him?
Bear Bryant.
Well, I mean, they're all SEC coaches that won national titles.
It's true.
I'm trying to think if there's anything more specific that I can come up with. They yeah, I don't know if I can come up with anything more specific than that connection. I don't know. That's the best I can do right now. I'm going to go with the very obvious one and just hope that the other two guys don't have a more specific connection that they can mention.
Guys,
They both won national titles at 2 different schools. All 3 won national titles at 2 different schools.
I mean, true, but we're trying to keep it SEC centric here
Okay.
because Urban won at Ohio State. Five seconds.
I don't know. I got nothing else. That would have been my other thing, but I couldn't remember if Bear ever won a title outside of Alabama.
Yeah. No, he did not.
No, never mind. That wouldn't have made any sense.
They all three faked heart attacks.
Bingo. No. I'm going to award Joseph a point because
Just for saying something that was true.
yep. The answer is all three won multiple national championships in the SEC.
Okay. So I was kind of halfway to what you were getting at, but not quite.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well,
It's weird. Like
I'll take it.
whenever I was looking that up, there's only like maybe 10 coaches that have won more than like 2 national championships in the entire history of college football.
There's
Almost like that's hard to do.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
There's a very, very small percentage of programs in the history of college football that have
Right.
won national championships.
Yeah. And
Pretty
like
much.
Bear Bryant won like 8 of them.
Yeah. Well, Bear Bryant and Alabama claimed like 45 of them.
Mhm.
So,
Well, that was also the era where everybody just claimed the national championship. They could be like, my cousin
Ole Miss claimed
Joe.
one.
My cousin Joe
Yep.
prints a newspaper out of his basement, and he named his national champion. So
yep. It works. Well, I don't mean to brag, but I'm in the lead so far going in round 2.
killing it.
I'm the only
Killing
one
it.
that said something that was technically true.
Hey. All right. Chandler, starting out round 2. Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, Kellen Mond.
They're all three Elite 11 quarterback recruits.
Possibly.
I don't know.
Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, Kellen Mond. I'm going to open this up to the field.
I mean, have they all caused a quarterback to transfer from their team?
Possibly.
I don't know if
I don't think Burrow has yet.
I don't think
no,
Burrow
no,
has.
Burrow has. Burrow has,
Yeah.
Narcisse, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Narcisse left.
which is a shame because that's the best LSU name ever.
It just makes too much sense. It's a
Lowell
perfect
Narcisse.
fit.
Come on.
As a side note, I hope LSU has a Fournette for the rest of history. I hope that like they go and find
Just
members.
Cousins. Yeah.
Yeah, other members of the Fournette family, even if they like have never touched a football in their lives. I hope they find more members of the Fournette family and just keep putting them on the roster just because.
And hopefully they're all some sort of variation of Leonard.
Right? Yeah, Lanyard,
Yeah.
Fournette.
Leonard.
Leonard spelled like Leonard Skinnerd.
Yeah, exactly. I think this.
Leo.
Yeah, I think it's perfect.
I mean, there was 5 examples right there, guys.
That's it. Hey, Fournettes, if you're listening, keep this right naming scheme going, guys. Just keep it up.
Change the trajectory of your entire family. So the answer is they are the current passing leaders in the SEC.
All right. More general than what we were aiming for.
Yeah. Again, I liked the format and got a couple of good ones that I liked, and then I was like, well, these are actually really difficult when I'm just focusing on the SEC. All right. Thank God it's almost over. In 2 ways.
For anyone who's not watching on YouTube, that is the nameplate that Gray has. For anyone just listening to the podcast, just so everyone knows.
Jeff Demps. Trenton Holiday. Bo Jackson. feel like Joseph has a guess.
They were all great return men. Man, Trendon Holiday is a name I haven't thought about in a while. So Jeff Demps. Goodness.
Yeah, one of these players unlocks it for the rest of them.
Oh, sprinting. Could they all be national champions in the 100-meter dash? Possibly.
I'm going to bookmark that for a potential correct answer.
Okay.
If Joseph doesn't say what the answer that I came up with is.
If I can't get it more specific than that.
Right. I mean, they're like, why I'm bookmarking it is because his may be more specific. I'm not really sure if Bo Jackson ever won anything.
Yeah, that was all I got, was that they were SEC football players that also were highly competitive sprinters. So
Yeah.
that was it. I didn't know whether they won anything or not. Or
I probably went too far. They might not have.
I still think that his answer should count, though, because that's
Yeah.
good.
So what I was looking for was SEC football players that played in multiple sports.
Oh, okay.
But yes, like that's taking it to a slightly more specific level than even I came up with. So Gray gets a point.
All right.
Cool.
That was good.
And like I was going to try to like go it even like a step further, because like I knew that Bo Jackson played baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Jeff Demps and Trent Holiday are like professional level sprinters, but I was never sure if Bo Jackson did it at that level. Because I know that like Jeff Demps was on like the Olympic sprinting team.
Mm-hmm.
I know that like Trent Holiday was like a national champion caliber type guy. But I wasn't really sure about Bo.
Yep. Hey, you know who else was just a really, really a high caliber track star who was also a college football player?
O'Neal Wilder.
Well, yeah, that is actually one answer. Yeah, O'Neal Wilder. He stopped playing football at Mississippi State to focus on track. Robert Griffin III. Before he blew up on the scene as the Baylor quarterback, he was the Big 12 400-meter hurdles champion.
That's cool.
Yep. I don't know why I remember that fact, but I do.
Nice.
That's all I got. Yeah. All right. Last round.
Yeah, there was I lived in Columbia, Mississippi for a year. Of course, that's where Walter Payton grew up. And the story around there was that like Walter Payton didn't play football till like his senior year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And he was running during that summer, like practicing for like the hurdles. And the football coach was just like happened to be walking around campus, saw this dude like going 1,000,000 miles an hour over hurdles, gigantic, and was like, "Hey, do you want to play football next year?"
Yeah. You ever give it this any thought?
Yeah, because he was beating everybody.
I love it.
3 times their size. Yep.
Love it.
All right.
Jerry Rice had a similar story. He was trying to skip class, and a coach caught him sprinting away from the school. I went, "Hey, man, I won't get you in trouble."
Imagine if I was throwing you a football.
Yeah, he's like, "I won't get you in trouble if you come and play for me."
Isn't that fun?
That coach was Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Makes you feel old, doesn't it?
Yeah, all Mississippi football legends are connected to each other somehow.
Yeah. Oddly enough, the coach who recruited Walter Payton was Jerry Rice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cyclical.
Yeah.
Time is.
That's how it works.
Yep.
All right. Last question of this prestigious quiz.
Here we go.
This has gone very well.
Yeah, with it being rivalry week, we're going to kind of narrow it down to Ole Miss, Mississippi State, since we're in the state, except for 2 of us.
Mm-hmm.
But 3 of us are fans anyway. The numbers don't work out in the favor of what I was trying to monologue about. So,
All right.
Evan Ingram,
Hmm.
Bo Wallace, Anthony Dixon.
Evan Ingram, Bo Wallace, and Anthony Dixon. I mean, I feel like the game doesn't necessarily give out like player of the game awards, but I feel like
No.
were they
And it didn't really have anything to do with the game itself.
oh, with the game itself. Okay.
No.
All right. Gosh, this is how would they be connected? Are they all I don't know, are they all Mississippi State or Ole Miss players who won an SEC player of the week at some point? I don't know.
Potentially.
I don't think they gave out SEC player of the week awards when Anthony Dixon was in school. That's a recent thing.
I'm going to open it to the field and give a hint. The answer was used the first time we played.
Oh,
It's a recycled answer.
well, now I know it.
Well, then you can answer it. Anybody can.
They were all Connerly Trophy winners then.
Yep. And Joseph is our winner with 2 correct answers.
Yes, yes. Did I win the first time also?
No, Chandler did.
Yeah,
Okay.
on the
Chandler and I
The
are the
super
coaches-
softball.
I dunked it on the like you threw me the alley and I totally ooped it on the
Yeah. I was
Tennessee coach
actually
answer.
really surprised at how quickly you answered that. You like thought for like a second, like, oh, future Tennessee coaches.
He has those names tattooed on his bicep, actually.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was such a
Weirdest
perfect
thing.
ending. All right,
Whew. All right, there we go. Round 2 in the books. And with that, gentlemen, it's time for us to throw down our rivalry week end of the college football regular season predictions.
Oh, good heavens.
Yep. And it's crazy to think that right after this, this time next week, we'll be sitting around talking about all the coaches that get fired as a result of this week. So here we are. Let's
Dan
jump.
Mullen's gone.
Dan Mullen is out of here. Let's talk about some predictions. Let's start with a matchup that absolutely no one cares about: Missouri and Arkansas. Keith, what's the spread?
Missouri is an 11-point favorite.
Missouri must suck.
Yeah.
They've had like 4
11.
really bad games in a row.
They have no motivation anymore.
No,
Oh, it's so bad. So bad. All right. So Missouri is an 11-point favorite. I'm having to talk louder to talk over Keith's keyboard.
it's not me this time.
Oh, no. Gray with the mechanical keyboard failure. How dare you, sir?
I meant to mute. I'm so sorry.
Oh, man. Oh, and
He's an imposter.
as a quick side note, Keith has jumped me in overall predictions on the season to go to second place. Chandler's still in first. Keith has leapfrogged me to be in second, and I'm in
It's
third.
because
now.
of your Vandy rule. I caught up.
That's true. That's exactly it. The Vandy rule, it did me in. All right, so Missouri and Arkansas. Missouri's the favorite here. 2 terrible teams. Keith, you start off the predictions since I've been calling on you first all night.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Missouri. Like they're both terrible, but Arkansas is still just next level bad.
All right, Chandler.
Yeah, I mean Missouri's bad, but Arkansas is dead.
Right.
They're playing a corpse.
All right, Gray.
So the reason why I was typing is I found this wonderful website called NCAAGamesim.com
Okay.
where it will simulate any game, and you can pick the number of simulations that you want to run. And according to that, the final score will be 31-23 Missouri.
Okay.
I just wanted to give that a shot. So I guess I'll side with the NCAA game sim and
All right.
go with Missouri, but Arkansas will cover.
All right. The computer says Missouri, but Arkansas will cover. I like the fact that the computer's there. I feel like you need to run the Sims for all of these games, whether or not you side with their prediction.
Yep.
We're gonna
do it.
say instead of Rose predictions this week, we're gonna put in a computer. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Anyway, there you go. All right. The next matchup that here we go. Let's go with the non-conference rivalries real quick. And let's start off with Louisville versus Kentucky in a game that I don't know if anyone's going to be watching this.
Yeah. I mean, no one's going to be able to confirm if it ever actually happened.
All right. Louisville versus Kentucky, I believe at prestigious Kroger Field. Keith, what's the spread?
At the jail cell. Kentucky is a 3-point favorite.
All right. Keith, what you got?
Give me the Wild Blue Wave Cats.
That's them. That is exactly what we call them. Chandler?
What's Louisville's record right now?
Bad.
That's a good question. Let's fact check it. Louisville football right now is 7-4 overall, 5-3 in the conference. Actually, second place behind Clemson in the ACC Atlantic Division. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Scott Satterfield. So give me Louisville.
All right. Gray, what do you think, and what does the computer say?
I think Lynn Bowden Jr. will have another Lynn Bowden Jr. game and run for 250 yards, and Louisville will win 24-13. And the computer says Louisville will win 17-3.
Wow.
Oof. Wow.
Yes, based off of 250 simulations. The average score being 32-20 Louisville.
Huh. That is all right. That's interesting. What is Kentucky sitting at right now, though? What's their
I think
record?
they're 6-5.
Yeah,
6
they're
and
bowl
5.
eligible.
All right, so both teams are bowl eligible, so it's not like either of them are necessarily looking at this as like we have to win or else we're done. So I was trying to see if there's any extra motivation on either side outside of it just being in-state rivalry and all that. Yeah, I feel like the fact that Bowden's going to have to lead the team is what might harm Kentucky here, but I'm going to go Louisville as well. I think Louisville pulls this one off at prestigious Kroger Field. All right, another non-conference matchup. Let's go Georgia Tech. Get this one out of the way. Keith, what's the spread?
Georgia is a 28-point favorite.
Who's the home team?
GT.
GT.
So this is in Atlanta. Gray, you going to go to this game?
Oh, yeah, babe. You know it.
All right, so Georgia, big favorite over the struggling, rebuilding, rebranding Yellow Jackets there. Keith, who you picking?
Georgia.
Yeah, this is going to be a tricky one. Is anyone not picking Georgia? I'm just curious. I feel like this one's unanimous, but I want to hear what the computer has to say, Gray.
This is very interesting. The computer has Georgia winning 44-28.
Okay.
The 28 kind of pops out at you. I don't think Georgia Tech is going to sniff 28. But
so the computer thinks that Georgia Tech is going to score 28 points on the best defense in the SEC.
Apparently so. It does say that the average score based off of 1,108 simulations was 33-11.
Okay, that seems more reasonable. All right, yeah. So this looks like a unanimous Georgia pick. We'll move on to another should-be ugly non-conference game, Clemson and South Carolina. Keith, give me the spread and your prediction.
Clemson is a 25-point favorite, and they are going to win this football game.
Chandler, you agree? He nods. That's a yes. Gray, how about you?
Clemson will end Will Muschamp's life this weekend.
Oh,
actual murder.
That's extreme.
Yeah, he's saying real life legitimate murder will
like
happen.
the whole team is going to like just jump him and beat him to death.
I didn't say that. The computer did, okay?
Wow. The AI is sentient.
Based on a 1002 simulations, the computers predicted Will Muschamp dies.
Dead.
Yeah.
No, actually, they say it's going to be 37-20.
What if that was a feature like in NCAA? Like
Um,
I remember one year I got Madden and I did a fantasy draft and I got Peyton Manning #1 overall and I was really excited. And after the first preseason game, they were like, neck injury, career over.
Yeah. I remember I got a Madden one time and it was who was it? It was like Lito Shepherd or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. No, it was Takeo Spikes. I saw Takeo Spikes got a career-ending concussion, which I can assume is like his brain came out of his head.
Yeah.
Didn't we say that we were going to do, and maybe this was all in jest, but do like a coaches versus coaches like bracket, in which if
Well, we still have the idea for the coaches Royal Rumble is still out there. I
Yes.
just have to get a WWE game.
where we do.
Yeah, we just got to
Let's
get
get the
game.
new one where like everyone's faces are off and people
Yeah,
glitch
where
out of
the
their
new
bodies.
WWE game that's terrible. They're not selling it for full price. We can get that thing.
I saw it yesterday at Walmart. They are in fact selling it for full price.
That's a shame. Well, I bet you can get it for cheap off of somebody. So, all right, let's move on to. All right, so the final non-conference matchup here, unless you count LSU and Texas A&M as a non-conference game, like my Saints of a Mother Ann Craven does. Florida State and Florida.
Oh, real Americans will.
Yeah, exactly. Florida State and Florida. This is the week where we get to predict the Noles in our SEC predictions segment here. So, Keith, tell us the spread and your thoughts.
Florida is a 17-point favorite at home somehow. Florida wins, but
All
does
right.
not cover.
Going Gators, Chandler.
Florida wins by a whole lot.
Gray.
I say that Florida wins by a whole lot. However, the computer says the Noles win 17-16.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a shocker right there.
The computer says the Noles.
Going for the big upset.
Wow. I think this is a Florida victory as well. But I
Stupid
don't.
computer.
Yeah, the computer's dumb. I don't think Florida covers solely because I think that Florida State is playing kind of above what they should be doing based on the whole interim status. I think they're having that whole I think this is an example of my theory about how interim coaches tend to have a little bit of instant success. So
Yeah, they come in and do real well, and everyone's like, "Well, we should keep them."
yeah, so I think
That's
that's what
almost
happened.
always a bad idea.
He just
That's
really,
better.
really loves Florida State. Like he
He
loves.
checks off all the boxes except for
Yeah.
winning.
Yes, which is a thing that a certain athletics director actually said.
All right, let's move on. Let's see. Let's do Vanderbilt and Tennessee.
Let's not.
All right, we're gonna skip that one and let's go over to Texas A&M and LSU.
Let's not.
Texas A&M LSU. We're hoping and praying it doesn't go into 17 overtimes.
And
Keith,
that
give us
people with pacemakers don't get punched.
Right. Keith, give us the spread and your pick.
LSU is a 16-point favorite, and if that sort of thing happened in Baton Rouge, the stands would empty, and it would be amazing. And LSU's going to win.
The stands would have emptied well before that, but that's
It's
because
true.
fans would have been drinking so heavily for so long.
Well, they just
they would have,
wandered onto the field by the fourth OT.
I was going to say they would all be in the hospital.
Also,
That too.
Keith,
but the hospital wouldn't have any money because they took all the money and gave it to football recruits.
and funneled it into
They'd be
recruiting.
like, F them kids.
Yep, that's exactly it. Is LSU the opposite of Iowa? I've never
Yes.
considered this before,
Yes.
but
In
they
a lot
are.
of
It was
ways,
like,
yes.
I was like, hey kids, we hope
Yeah.
you get better. We're gonna
Yeah.
wave at you, and it's gonna
Yeah.
be a beautiful, touching moment. And LSU's like, F
We're
them
gonna-
kids.
We're gonna take them. Yeah. So both schools incorporate a hospital into like the day-to-day of their football programs. It just happens to be that Iowa does it in a heartfelt manner and LSU takes funding.
Yeah, LSU's burned down the building while they
That doesn't mean that LSU's not heartfelt about it.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
They might actually hate
they
those kids.
Definitely want that money.
Yeah. They hate those. It's a hospital, but it's full of terrible children.
I
Keith,
guess
what's your
we'll
pick?
help you, jerks. LSU.
The worst kids.
Keith picking the Tigers. Chandler, are you going with the Fighting Tigers?
Yes.
Gray?
Yeah, Tigers are rolling.
How about Computer?
Computer has LSU winning 34-0.
Accurate.
I love
That
it.
was not what I was expecting to hear.
I love that the Computer is sitting around in 2019 and thinking, yeah, you know what? This is going to be the moment that somebody blanks Texas A&M. I love it.
Yeah, like Computer picks Florida State to win, but says LSU is going to blank Texas A&M.
Yep.
Yeah,
This is
out
good.
of 1,200 simulations, LSU will win by 20 or more 898 times.
That's perfect. That's perfect. I love it so much. All right, we've got two big-time rivalries in the SEC left to predict, both of them with close spreads. So I'm actually going to jump to our random prediction of the week, and then we'll wrap it up with the last two SEC predictions. I'm going to go with another big-time rivalry, this time in the NFL on Thanksgiving Day. It's a rematch of the New Orleans Saints and the Atlanta Falcons. That's right. That's right. Earlier in the month, those two teams met. New Orleans was, there's not a spread set yet, I don't think, because, or at least one I could find easily because we're recording on a Sunday night, so the NFL games are still going on. But the Saints were heavy favorites the first time these teams met, and Atlanta shocked them by just controlling the whole game. So it's going to be a rematch of a surprise upset over the New Orleans Saints by the Atlanta Falcons, a Falcons team that's looked much better in recent weeks. That's my lead up to it. That's our random prediction for the week. Keith, would you like to start us off?
Oh, when the Saints go marching in. Give me them Saints marching in. Yes.
Give it them Saints marching in. All right. Chandler, how about you?
Who dad say they're going to beat them Saints?
The Falcons, apparently.
Falcons.
Yeah, just earlier this month they said that.
I don't think that the Falcons are going to win.
Okay.
I think that the Saints are going to win.
Okay. Gray?
I think the Saints will win. However, the computer says Atlanta wins 21-16.
Wow, computer.
Computer just dunking left and right.
Yep. The game's in Atlanta, in that fancy new stadium of theirs. Saints love playing indoors. Saints want revenge from earlier. And the Saints really just want to play a divisional matchup that isn't needlessly close. So the Saints are going to be extra motivated, and I think they pull out what turns out to be an extremely close win. All right, the final two SEC matchups here, the Iron Bowl and the Egg Bowl. Alabama, Auburn, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. We're going to start off with Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Actually, no, let's do Iron Bowl because none of us here have any, emotional, historic ties to Alabama or Auburn. Keith, what's the spread? And give us your rundown of this game.
Bama is a 4-point favorite on the road
On the Plains.
in Urdenhurst.
Yep.
Kick six.
Okay.
Give me the kick six back.
All right. I'm putting down
I'm
that
going-
as your prediction.
Yeah, the kick six is gonna win.
So wait. So with that prediction, regardless of what happens in the game and who actually wins, if a kick six doesn't win it, Keith gets the prediction incorrect.
Correct.
Yes. So it
Okay.
sounds like, but he didn't even, so if a kick six does win
Yeah.
it,
He didn't say which team.
If it Kick Six does win it, then Keith gets like 1 billion points for all
Yeah,
I
I
care.
definitely win, and everybody buys me dinner.
All right, Chandler, who you got?
Oh man, it's tough. I don't think Auburn's good. I think their defense is good, but I think their offense is really bad. And I don't think Mac Jones is very good, but he's still throwing all those receivers. So Alabama.
Yeah, it's going to go probably a long way. This will probably be one of those games in which Alabama really leans heavily on like Najee Harris,
who is my friend on Goodreads.
Your Goodreads friend, like going to lean heavily, like change their entire game plan. Gray, who you got?
I'm really tired of y'all not giving mine and Najee's relationship the credit it deserves.
We literally do it every time we mention him. I don't know what else.
You didn't mention it right then. I had to bring it up.
Okay, we
Just
still
because you just did it before we
don't
could
know
do
what
it.
else you want out of it. I just don't know.
Airbrush T-shirts with mine and his names on it.
BFF,
Like a big heart that says,
Yep.
It says Shandeezy and Nazi.
Crambles and Najee.
Crambles and Najee.
Oh,
Your
God.
arch nemesis Chandeezy has signed on.
Gray, who you got in this matchup?
Yeah, I got Bama. I got Bama. Computer has Bama 27-6, which I could definitely see that being a pretty appropriate score. So good job, Computer.
Okay, question. Like a 27-6 game for the way Alabama's built right now would be a pretty ugly game.
Mm-hmm.
So does an ugly game get them the 4th spot in the playoff?
Yes. I don't think it matters what happens. They're Alabama.
Yeah.
They're getting
Bama
the 4th spot in the
wins.
playoffs.
They're in, yeah.
They could lose this game, and I still think people are going to try to give them the 4th spot in the playoffs.
Fair.
Like, SEC commissioner is going to be throwing out whatever money he needs to all the other conferences, referees, to like throw every matchup that could possibly keep them out.
That is an interesting question, though, with Oregon going down.
Right.
That 4th spot is really there's a lot of intrigue here the last couple of weeks. So.
There you go. This one's a tough one for me. I really, really want to think that Auburn pulls this off because like Alabama's going to have to rely on running game and defense. The running game's good, but I mean, Auburn's really freaking stacked against a running game. And on the
front
flip,
7 is nuts.
oh, it's so good. And on the flip side of that, like Alabama's defense, we've talked a lot about, is not really that good. So like if Auburn's halfway smart with their play calling, then they should make better decisions than they normally do. But I just don't trust Auburn to be halfway smart. You know, I've been making the comparison this season that I think Gus is like the new version of Les Miles. And that he pulls out some like witchcraft every now and then, some voodoo, but then sometimes also just makes these decisions that make you go, really, man? Like that's what you're going for? And I think this is going to be the latter part there. I think this is going to be a matchup which they, for no reason, ignore what they should do. And I think that I don't know if I'm going to predict Alabama to win so much as I'm predicting Auburn to lose. There you
That's
go.
fair.
Yep.
That's fair.
And then finally, we got the battle for the Magnolia State, the battle for the Golden Egg. Ole Miss and Mississippi State in Starkville this year. That's super notable because the away team apparently always wins. That's just the rules now. Keith, give us the spread and give us your prediction.
State is a 3-point favorite.
Seems about right. Who you picking?
I'm going to show them, but I'm going to go home team.
All right. Gonna go home team. Picking the Bulldogs in this one. Chandler, how about you?
Oh, I don't know. State's really good against the run. That's about the only thing that I've seen that I think they're really good at. Ole Miss is really good at the run. So
State's really good at turning their quarterback into a helicopter.
Yeah, that's the main skill, I think, on the
also
team.
that.
Actually, you know what they're really great at is dropping passes. That's
Yeah,
they're pretty
and see, that's
impressive.
the thing is like strength against strength should be an interesting matchup. Like what happens with the run game, all that kind of stuff.
I was going to say, what are the strengths?
The like weakness against weakness, which is apparently State throwing the ball down the field and Ole Miss covering the pass.
Hey, not State throwing the ball down the field. Literally just what happens when the ball gets to a receiver's hands.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
the ball gets to their hands a lot of the time this season.
Yeah,
It's fine. Yeah.
Like if it's not one of two guys, they're not going to know what to do with it.
like
And one of those guys never plays.
I don't know. Ole Miss plays all these close games and never wins them, and everybody seems to think that that's awesome because it means that we're close. So
That's awesome. They just love the game so much.
like it's just like we're just like Matt Luke just needs like 7 more years to get his players in because
Right.
3 years is not long enough to tell that he is clueless in coaching, like actual coaching
he has
situation.
to get all of his players in to establish the culture, then a new
Right.
amount of players to
Well,
build the culture, and then you're
right
there.
because what has and really he needs like 50 years honestly because what has to happen in order for him to get a qualified staff is they have to come and play for Ole Miss
Right.
and then like get hired at desk jobs at Ole Miss and then get promoted to important coaching positions at Ole Miss. So
Right.
it's going to take
That's the standard promotion tree. Yeah, we
12
all know that.
12 to 75 years for Luke to get this thing
Right.
worked out. So
Yeah.
Play for Ole Miss, get a job at admissions, work in the alumni office, and then
Right.
go straight to coaching.
Yeah.
right, that's exactly it. Like if you actually coach, it doesn't matter. You just have to really love Ole Miss. That's it. So that's just a really roundabout way of me saying I have no idea, but I don't have any faith in the Ole Miss coaching staff to win a close game, and I don't think Ole Miss is built to really blow anybody out. So State wins.
Okay. Great.
I don't
Who you
know.
got?
They're going to run the ball out the middle 100 times.
Yes, they will. They will.
Might as well. I mean, if they want to run up against like a bunch of true freshmen that fall over or somebody breathes on them, then yeah, they should. All right, great. Who you got?
I've just been here too many times before. I'm mostly giving this prediction just to set myself up to not be disappointed. But
Are we going to have fans of each team pick the other team?
That's why you picked the Seminoles earlier.
It's true.
I don't know, man. I see John Rice Plumlee doing a Nick Fitzgerald and running for like 250 and 3 touchdowns and throwing for a couple. I don't know. And the computer agrees.
Okay.
I actually did 5 simulations in this last one. They've got Ole Miss winning 55-35.
I could see that. I could really see that with these defenses.
I did. In regards to that, I did say that I don't have faith in Ole Miss to win a close game.
Right. Yeah, that's very true.
Oh, and listen to this. It also gives me the play-by-play. So just scrolling down, all of Ole Miss's touchdowns are John Rice Plumlee runs of over 15 yards each. And all of Mississippi State's touchdowns are either Kylan Hill for less than 3 yards or Garrett Schrader for like 8 to 10 yards.
So
They're all runs.
The computer thinks that Schrader is playing instead of Stevens.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
And Plumlee's going to have 6 rushing touchdowns.
Apparently so. I love this computer, man. This computer's great.
It actually does feel like a real NCAA football game.
It does. It does. Along with that, like, I feel like maybe low key the computer's predicting something that could very likely to happen, that Tommy Stevens gets hurt again and Schrader has to replace him.
Yep.
Exactly.
So, Gray, were you picking Ole Miss?
Yeah, I just got that gut feeling.
Yeah. It's hard to ignore the factors when you look into it because, the one thing Mississippi State has not really shown, I don't know, they haven't necessarily given up too much to like running quarterbacks this year. But at the same time, I also feel like the running quarterbacks that they went up against were doing so well through the air, it didn't matter. So I don't know what it's going to look like going up against John Rice Plumlee. I have no idea. But if they hand the ball up the middle every single play, then they're going to be averaging about 7 yards a carry and on the Mississippi State defense. So as I pointed out, the away team, for whatever reason, seems to win this matchup. So all those factors into it, I think it's going to be high scoring. I think it's going to be probably pretty heated. And I think that at the end of the day, Ole Miss wins it on the road. Joe Moorhead gets canned and Mississippi State sucks for the next decade. That's my total full prediction.
Well,
There you go.
and what kind of factored into my decision a little bit is that at least in Ole Miss's situation, they've found something they consistently hang their hat on. At least for State, it's been so inconsistent whether Colin Hill is going to have 100+ yards or 30.
Right.
You never know. It just kind of depends. But it's just been so inconsistent. And in Ole Miss's situation, they have found at least some type of identity that I don't think Mississippi State has. So,
Yeah.
To be fair, Moorhead's not going to get fired. He's going to say all week that he's not going to Rutgers, that he's not going anywhere. And then next Monday, he's going to have a press conference and he's going to be in Rutgers. So
all of his players are going to find out on Twitter. Yeah,
Yep.
It's going to be great. Going to be great to go through that again.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think the long term effects of what you guys are talking about, like it's like Ole Miss, like if Ole Miss wins, they're going to lobby really hard to get the 5-7 bowl game because of the APR stuff. They're going to carry the Egg Bowl trophy around everywhere they go. They're going to tout it as Matt Luke's first signature win, and Ole Miss is going to suck for the next 10 years.
That's going to be unbearable for
It is
everybody.
it is going to be
It'll be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
The portion of Ole Miss fans that exist on Facebook are going to be just ecstatic, and everybody else is going to be like, really?
Yep.
really.
Yep. That's it.
So
No,
this seems like a no-win weekend sort of thing for you guys.
It is.
yeah, it's good. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird, the state of football in the Magnolia State. It's just bizarre right now. It just is. But
Especially compared to where it was 5 years ago.
I know. Super strange. Yeah, so I guess let's go wrap things up here on this Thanksgiving/rivalry week episode of Running Out the Clock. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for jumping in on this. Shout out to anyone who is listening to the podcast. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Hope you enjoy whatever happens. I hope you enjoy, I don't know, sports in some regard. Go, cheer for a different sport. Just watch a different sport. Just
Yay,
if
sport.
just sport. So thank you to Keith, to Gray, to Crambles Johnson.
R.I.P. Rowe.
R.I.P. Rowe Hunter. I'm your friend, Joseph Craven. As always, as we always say here on Running Out the Clock, amateurism forever. Stay tuned. God Friended Me season premiere is next.